Hi, this is MSG, and this is my review of the new show Love on Netflix. I have not seen the show yet. It just premiered today. They posted the episodes this morning. I'm probably going to watch it soon in a minute. I just got home from work. I'm a little goofed on fatigue because I'm suffering from sleep deprivation, so I think that my judgment of the show is still going to be solid. So this is a show that they say is from Judd Apatow. Now, as far as how from him it is, I don't know. I don't think he's the creator of the show. Like, it's usually not when they say these things. It's probably produced by him. Now, I don't know if I can judge it based on this because his track record recently has been somewhat spotty. He basically got his start. He produced and he created Freaks and Geeks. That was something of a dramedy. Actually, that's another show that I've never seen, so I'm going by reputation. It was part dramatic and part funny, and it got canceled by NBC. And I guess he was so broken up by that. I mean, he wasn't content with the fact that, he was brand new. He was a comedian. I believe he had written for the Ben Stiller show. I would have been, hey, I had a show on television, maybe for a year, but I can do more. He was so upset by the canceling of it. Maybe I'm judging harshly. If I had a show that was canceled, I would probably be pretty upset too. But he was determined to conquer the comedy world after that, so he decided to make movies that were actually funny. So he did Knocked Up, and he did 40-Year-Old Virgin, and he conquered the comedy world. So once he was back on top, he said, okay, now I'm going to go back to doing things that are both depressing and allegedly funny. So he starts doing stuff like Funny People, which doesn't actually contain funny people. This is 40, which is sort of the sequel to, what was that other movie that I just mentioned? Knocked Up, kind of like the successor to it. Not so much a sequel. It followed to the other characters. It's more of a spin-off. There's another movie that I haven't seen. I saw pieces of it, and as far as I can tell, it had a lot more to do with being parents and making your lives miserable. I saw a scene where Judd Apatow's wife, her name escapes me, she's giving Paul Rudd a blowjob in the bathroom, and the kids are knocking on the door like that, like that much and I just upset my neighbor's dog. I'll stop. So, as far as the kids go, it's really depressing. I saw he's managing a singer or something and the album failed and he's sitting there in the car crying. So, this is not comedy. And it's also as far as what he's done recently. I know that he produced Girls. There's another show that I've never seen. I only know it by reputation. And I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm going to do another segment about Girls, I think, if I ever get around to it. So, based on that, I'm not exactly sure what I'm getting into. I know that as far as the people who are in it, the guy is the guy from I Love You, Beth Cooper. There's a movie that I never saw. Well, I only saw bits and pieces of it, so I'm not going to judge him on that. But, he seems okay. And the main girl who's in it, I don't know her either. From what I understand, she was in the show Community. So, the only thing that I know about Community, because, again, there's another show I've never seen. Well, I've seen maybe 5-10 minute pieces of it at a time, and it just wasn't working for me. But I know that's the show with Alison Brie. So, there's Alison Brie's in it, so the girl who is in love is girl who's not Alison Brie. Now, it's really not appropriate for me to judge her that way. I mean, it's not her fault she's not Alison Brie. Only one person has Alison Brie. So, but as far as Alison Brie goes, like the rest of America, we all love her. Alison Brie, I would say, she could have me at will. She could marry me at will. If she came up to me and for some reason, let's say she said, I'm actually Canadian, I need to marry somebody to stay in this country, I'd go, okay. You'll learn to love me, even if you don't love me. Actually, you know what? I'd say, all right, make out with me first, and I'll judge based on that. So, make out with me, just like give me like 10, 15 seconds, get a rhythm going, and I'll see how it goes, 30 seconds, or maybe like a minute at the most, or maybe 2, 3, let's say make out with me for 5 minutes, like that much if I'm on the fence. If I'm either on the fence about it and it's going to take me that long to decide, or if I'm totally not on the fence and I want to milk this for as much as it's worth. So that's all I'm going to say about Alison Brie. So as far as girl who's not Alison Brie, you know what? She's a beautiful woman also. So, she could have me too. Now, as far as, could she marry me? Well, I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to go as far as to say that, like at this point, what better can you do? Anyway, so I've seen the trailer for this. And as far as I can tell, like I know that guy from I Love You, Beth Cooper, and girl from Community who's not Alison Brie meet in a convenience store. Now, why can't I meet a beautiful woman in a convenience store? I am at the 7-Eleven every goddamn day. I mean, look, my apartment, I got these just like laying around all over the place because I'm drinking the big gulps all the time. I mean, the fucking 7-Eleven, it's less than a block from my apartment, and I grew up in Long Island, so I'm always there. I have yet to meet any woman who looks like she could be on the show Community. So maybe there's a fantasy aspect to this television show. It's also in respect of how people like always look on television. Now, as far as I can tell from this character, I saw somebody online described her as a manic pixie dream girl. Now, that's not what she is. I know that that's a hated term that gets bandied around, but people are too quick to judge that. I mean, she is, as far as I can tell, a free spirit. Being a free spirit is not the same as being a manic pixie dream girl. I can also tell that she has this sort of deadpan delivery, like she's hating life or something. She comes across as a misanthrope who secretly has that inner heart of gold, and that's something that I can get along with. And so maybe if she's drawing from real life, if that's the way that she is, if she wants to hang out in the convenience store like until I happen to come around, then I'm all for that. So as far who else is in this show, I know that the girl from the AT&T commercials is also in it. She was in one episode of, what's that other show on HBO? Silicon Valley. So she's no stranger to HBO. And yes, it's true. Look it up. I mean, she looks very different in it. And Andy Dick is in it as well. I saw him in the trailer a couple times. So I don't know if he's a regular, if he's recurring. Say what you want about him personally. I mean, maybe he's put his drug problems behind him. I mean, the last thing that I saw him in was, it was either Celebrity Rehab or Celebrity Sober House. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing anyway. Actually, I think that he was in an episode of that Jim Jeffries show that got canceled after 2 seasons because even though it was funny, it was really, really depressing. You have Dan Buckendahl blowing off his daughter and getting high and winding up on the beach in his underwear and walking down the street and being seen by his in-laws. That's not a show that got canceled shortly after that, not surprisingly. So anyway, I have to say, the tone of the trailer there was humor, and there was, I wouldn't say it was sadness, but there was drama, and it made me laugh, made me think. So I had to say that I was pretty impressed with it. Now, the reviews, as far as I could tell, they're not stellar like I was hoping. They're generally positive. At least that's what I can tell when I went on Metacritic. So a friend of mine said, the pilot's not that good, but then it gets going, so I'm going to take a nap now so I can deal with that chronic fatigue syndrome. Not a syndrome, just the fact that I figured, well, it's a Thursday, I can stay up late because work is a Friday, but I fucking worked my ass off today. So that was a bad idea. So I'm going to chill for a little bit. I'm going to watch the show. If the pilot's not good, then girl from Community who's not Alison Brie is going to help me plow through it. And I will give on my 4-star scale in my review of Love from Netflix, which I've never seen. I shall give it 4 stars for high level interest. Thank you.